Classic team, Brian Evans, Alan Henderson, Pat Graham, and most valuable player, Damon Bailey.
This afternoon, the Eastern Kentucky Colonels invade Assembly Hall to try to tackle the Indiana Hoosiers.
Ford Productions, in association with Raycom Sports, presents Big Ten Conference Basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance and the more than 600 Farm Bureau Insurance agents throughout Indiana. By your local 76 dealers, who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. And by Edie's Grand Ice Cream, America's finest premium ice cream, made in Indiana with Hoosier pride.
We are live from the Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana, as this afternoon the Eastern Kentucky Colonels at 4-2 take on the Indiana Hoosiers 4-1. The team starts to come onto the floor, and hello everybody, I'm John Laskowski with Ted Kitchell, ready to bring you today's action. And Ted, Eastern Kentucky has had a couple tough games. Kentucky and Louisville, they played some good teams. They're led by John Allen. He's 6'7", has a chance to become their all-time leading scorer.
Very good player. He can shoot the outside jump shot. He also likes to post up inside. They also have a good player in Orlando Johnson. Indiana must keep the ball out of his hands.
For Indiana, Ted, we may see a change in the lineup. Indiana, although Lindemann's been playing well, Indiana may go to that three-guard or smaller lineup.
They've been very successful with a little bit smaller lineup. And today I think you might have an opportunity to look at Wilkerson as far as a starter. And if so, he's the guy that will be out there to stop Orlando Johnson.
All right, let's take a look at this afternoon's Cocoline fueling factors.
For Eastern Kentucky, the most important thing is that they continue to shoot the basketball very, very well. They're averaging almost 90 points a game. First, we're going to go with the rebounding. It's very important for them to rebound the basketball. Indiana's been very strong on the boards this year. They have to control the boards. Also, 90-plus points a game. The two games that they've lost, they've scored 78 and 66, so they must score in the 90 to be successful. Indiana turnovers. Indiana averaging almost 20 turnovers a game. They must improve if they're going to be successful later down the road. And I think getting off to a good start. It's been exams weeks. They've not had a lot of practice time. They need to come out and get off to a good start.
Trying to decide what gift to give your babysitter or mail carrier? Try Cocoline gift certificates, available and redeemable at any Cocoline location. Cocoline, for over 50 years of
for the Colonels from Eastern Kentucky University. One forward, a 6'7" senior from Burkeville, Kentucky.
Papa John's.
A 6'4" sophomore from Franklin, Kentucky. Number 32, DeMarcus Knox. A center, a 6'9" senior from Beaufort, South Carolina.
Back again at Assembly Hall. Team introductions taking place right now. And let's take a look at those starting lineups. Ted, which one of these matchups seems to catch your eye?
I think the one that really stands out is Wilkerson and Johnson. Johnson's their leader. He's going to handle the ball a lot. He looks to shoot off of the dribble, and he also looks to drive. A guy that Indiana must keep the ball out of his hands, and they've stuck Sharon Wilkerson in the lineup to try to do that.
I'd look at the Papa John's starting lineups. Take a look at the two coaches. Bob Knight on your right, Matt Calhoun, his second year at Eastern Kentucky. He spent some time at Indiana State when Ron Green was there. Now the head man for the Colonels. We'll be back with the start of today's ball game after these messages.
Fight for the cream and crimson, for the glory of old I used. Ever daunted, we cannot falter in the battle we're tried and true. Indiana, Indiana.
Martha, you're back.
Indiana, we're all for you.
Another Indiana legend, brought to you with pride by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Okay, Eastern Kentucky and Indiana ready to take the floor here. And Indiana has juggled their lineup. As we mentioned, Sharon Wilkerson gets to start, probably to match up against Orlando Johnson. Eastern Kentucky likes to play a full court, fast-paced game. Alan Henderson there. There's a good look at Sharon. Led his Jeffersonville team to the state championship last year. The last meeting, these two teams met back in December, the 87-88 season. Indiana convincing victory in that ball game. Tonight's officials are Art McDonald, Phil Bova, and Dan Chrisman from the Big Ten Conference. The Colonels dressed in purple and white. Indiana, of course, in the home white with red trim. And the tip is up, and Indiana controls.
Great pass by Wilkerson to get it started. That'll give him a lot of confidence. Good cut by Damon Bailey inside.
Indiana scores quickly at 2-0. Bailey working the inside, which he did so well in the Indiana Classic.
Going to take a look at the defense. Look at Wilkerson. He will probably not leave Orlando Johnson all day. Right there is what Eastern Kentucky likes to do. They like to drive in and then throw it back out for the three-pointer. Very similar to what Kentucky does in their offense.
DeMarcus Daw, 6'4" sophomore, hits that first jumper. He's left-handed. He averages 13 a game. And a whistle away from the ball. That foul goes against Dawes. He's trying to guard Pat Graham. There's Mike Calhoun.
Look for Indiana offensively to take Bailey down inside. In the Chalk Talk, Coach Knight mentioned how they felt like they had 5 players interchangeable and could definitely get inside.
And there's an inside move. Evans stopped, but he dishes off to Henderson.
Good move by Brian Evans. He's a guy that's not easily going to drive it all the way to the basket. Usually 1 or 2 dribbles. Did a nice job picking up Alan Henderson. Good cut away from the basketball and comes up with an easy basket.
4-3, Indiana leads. This is Allen, number 30. He's their top scorer.
Once again, take a look at Wilkerson. When the ball, usually Indiana's defense will drop off. You will not see him drop off of Johnson tonight. They do not want him to continue to penetrate and be able to dish off and take the shot.
Outside shot this time by Marlon Stewart, 6'3" junior. Had 16 in their last ball game. He's averaging only 7 a game, but coming off a nice performance gives the Colonels a lead. Wilkerson comes down. He's got the layup and foul and really crashed hard on the floor.
Wilkerson really off to a good start, playing very good on the defensive end. He made a great pass to start off the game. And Damon Bailey kind of trails that play. Damon Bailey finds him. You're going to take a look at it. Damon Bailey finds him, and nice, good, strong move to the basket. This is the second time I think he's started this year. He also started in that Kentucky game and played very, very well. And he shoots the basketball very, very well. One of Indiana's best free throw shooters.
He cans that one. Now 7-5, Indiana leads. Just about 2 minutes into the ball game. And there you see Wilkerson picking up right at the 10-second line on Johnson. Got to keep Johnson out of the middle. And this is Allen. You can see Evans all over him. Not a big team out there right now for the Colonels, so Indiana's able to go to 3 guards. Good force to the baseline there by Bailey.
Team that likes to keep it off the dribble a lot. You can see they're looking for shots off the dribble. Poor job by Indiana. Indiana gets a break right there. Looked like Alan Henderson slapped down on him a little bit, but Phil Bova with a jump ball call. And Indiana, or Eastern Kentucky, going to get the basketball out of bounds.
Here's a look at Indiana against the Ohio Valley Conference. Eastern Kentucky finished 2nd in the conference last year. Have yet to be defeated by an Ohio Valley team.
Travel. Took that little hop step, as so many guys do when they get ready to go to the basket.
Again, Ted, I think we're seeing, just as we did Washington State, a team that hasn't seen the defensive pressure that Indiana will apply. It's harder for them to run the offense, especially with Johnson really not the playmaker. A little 3/4 court press here by Eastern Kentucky.
Watch Indiana, they'll want to spread it out. They've got 5 guys that can play almost any place on the floor. Kind of a quick shot there. One down to the baseline, 2 dribbles and a jump shot. Probably not what Coach Knight's looking for.
Eastern Kentucky rebounds. Here's Stewart again from the outside. Another three-pointer. Team not afraid to take three-pointers. Their best three-point shooter still on the bench. That's Devine. 5 points now for Stewart. Near steal by Allen. So right now, Eastern Kentucky feels they're in the ballgame.
Eastern Kentucky off to a good start. Indiana letting them get behind the arc. They've hit 2 already. I felt like it was very important for Indiana to get off to a good start. They've been in exam week. They've not had a lot of practice time. Shot by Pat Graham. Indiana going to have to get back on defense, but Indiana looks a little sluggish early.
Man-to-man defense all the time by Eastern Kentucky. Good steal there as Evans able to catch up. 2 turnovers now for the Colonels. Here's Bailey going all the way. Loses it, recovers, passes to Henderson, and the basket.
Majority of guys would have got that ball off the floor and tried to shoot it up through the people and probably drawn a foul. Damon Bailey knew that there was no opportunity to do that. We're going to take a look at it. He does a nice job of getting to the basket, loses the ball. Right here, most guys would have taken that ball up. He catches Alan Henderson out of the corner of his eye. Great pass. Take a second look at it. Damon Bailey gets himself up in the air, and you can see Johnson hacks Allen pretty good across the arm. Good strength to put that ball in and have the chance at a three-point play.
We don't talk enough about the double-doubles, which is double figures in points and rebounds. Alan Henderson now has 20 on his career, and of course every game this year he has done that feat. He's averaging now 12.5 rebounds a game, 17.5 points. Looks like an injured player for Eastern Kentucky, and a substitution is this is Brad Devine, number 12, comes in. Watch him from that three-point line.
Very good shooter from three-point range. And when you speak of Allen doing the double-double, with Allen it's almost a point of whether or not he's going to get to double figures in points, because in rebounds he just seems like he's there every night. He's just such a great rebounder, has a wonderful instinct of knowing where the ball is going to come off the board.
Converts on that free throw. Indiana leads now 10-8. They try to go inside to Allen. A block that time by Henderson. Eastern Kentucky a little out of their offense right now.
You can see Allen turn to the baseline when he got the ball down low. Again, looking to score off the dribble. Once again, they're looking to score off the dribble, and they do. Indiana's going to have to do a better job of making them pick up their dribble and pass the basketball.
DeMarcus Dawes hits for his second hoop. He's got 5 now, so Moss and Stewart with all the points. Pass is mishandled and a steal. Here comes Dawes again. Misses on the shot. Here's Johnson inside. Indiana's able to come away with it, but Bailey fell on the line before he got rid of the ball.
Good hustle by Indiana, but it never should have happened on the other end. The thing that's really plagued Indiana, they played very well the last 4 games, but the one thing that's plagued them is turnovers on the other end. As you take a look at the end of that last play, whew, that's pretty close. Looked like Damon was still up in the air when he threw that ball, but good hustle by Indiana. Coach likes to see him get down on the floor after.
Johnson and Wilkerson outside. Johnson averaging 13 a game also. Allen misses. Henderson with another board.
Allen has somewhat of a strange shot there. It's going to get him for hooking him there. Good job by Evans. Nice job by Pat Graham of seeing what he's got down underneath him, giving Evans the ball.
And we've got a timeout. The score is tied at 10 each. There's 16 minutes left. We'll be back after these messages. Incorporated and is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express prior written consent of the Big Ten Conference Incorporated is prohibited. We are back to action as Indiana inbounds with Bailey. Take a look at the shooting percentages.
You can see Eastern Kentucky 4 of 8 at 50%. Indiana shooting the ball, just not getting the opportunity.
Looks like Indiana seems to be a little more patient this time, Ted, and look, it ends up in a layup.
Wonderful offense there. The good thing about that was how spread everybody kept the floor, and it really gives you a lot of room inside to do some cutting, which is what Coach Knight's looking for. Great pass.
First 2, and you're right, a dish there by Allen as Indiana converged, and a dump pass gets a layup.
They're going to call travel there, but it was a great pass down inside, and that's what Eastern Kentucky's looking to do. They're going to drive and then pass it off.
Pass inside here to Bailey. Somehow he gets that shot away. This time it's blocked. Indiana really seems to have regrouped, Ted, from that timeout.
Yeah, Coach Knight, as he mentioned in his chalk talk, he feels like he can take his guards down inside and post whenever he, at any time, especially Damon Bailey. Damon Bailey's only 6'4", but he can go down in there with 6'8" and 6'9" guys without any problem. And with Wilkerson in there, you've got another guy that can get down inside.
Bailey coming off his best point performance. He had 29 against Washington State. He's moved up to 18th now on Indiana's all-time list. And probably catch Joby Wright in today's ball game. He's good on the second, 13-10. Indiana leads at the 15-25 mark.
Let's see if Coach Knight's talked to him a little bit about defensively what he wants to try to get accomplished after they went out there and played. As we've mentioned, they continue to try to score off the dribble.
Devine out front, guarded by Bailey. Good pressure now by Graham. This is Stewart. He loves that move off the drive. He's only 6'3". He jumps well, though, and is able to get that shot away. He's got 7 points.
Very effective dribbling to his left as Bailey takes a three.
And he makes that three. Bailey outside makes it 16-12.
Indiana, a very explosive team. Washington State last Saturday was in the game. Matter of fact, had a 4-point lead at one time. Then Indiana really exploded with about 3 minutes left in the half.
Sure enough, that basket does push him past Joby Wright. 16-12, Indiana with the lead.
Good pass.
Allen inside, receives the pass from Stewart.
Very good patience by Eastern Kentucky. Able to get the pass inside and get an easy layup against Indiana's defense.
Indiana leads by 2. Here's Wilkerson. Eastern Kentucky will play man-to-man the whole game. That foul by Allen. Not a good foul. Evans was not in a position to score, even if he received the ball.
Exactly. Not a good foul at all. Allen being one of their key players, their leading scorer. Coach needs him in the basketball game. And really just a dumb foul there. He comes up the lane. Evans is just going to catch the ball in a passing position. No way was he looking to score.
Indiana brings Todd Leary and Steve Hart now in the ball game at the guard position. Bailey from the right side, and he gets an identical three from the other side of the floor.
Really starting to light it up against Washington State. He really had that look in his eye, a lot of confidence from the three-point line. Throughout the season, he's scored well, but now he's really starting to shoot the basketball very well.
8 points now for Bailey. Here's Stewart again outside, misses on this one. Henderson with an easy board. Watch that pass as Evans saved him.
Great job.
Coming back to get the ball.
Evans came back about 10 feet there to get the basketball. Great pass by Leary.
Now the offense starts to click as Bailey gets the layup from Leary.
But again, that play would never have happened if Brian Evans doesn't come back 5 or 6 feet to retrieve that basketball. Most cases, that would have been another turnover for Indiana. Good play by Brian Evans.
Good pressure by Hart on the outside. He's drawing on Stewart. Nope, 23 is Kevin Maggard. 6'4.5" sophomore in the lineup.
Dawson, very good athlete. One of the guys that they like to see the ball in his hands, and he did a nice job of taking it inside. You're going to take a look here at the last, and watch how Todd Leary positions himself. He catches Bailey out of the corner of his eye, cutting down the lane. He's looking for him coming off that screen. Good job of getting the ball where it needs to be in the Indiana offense.
DeMarcus Doss is in the lineup now. There's Marlon Stewart as he comes out. Eastern Kentucky with 4 players averaging 13 a game, so a good balanced scoring team. Indiana mainly trying to stop Johnson and Allen. Doss hits on that free throw. 20-15 now. Steal. This is Maggard, 23 in the lineup, and a block by Hart. Kicked out by Leary. Hart does a nice job to recover from that miscue on the turnover.
Let's see, just gets a little bit ahead of himself there, kind of dribbles it right into the guy. The guy takes it away from him, but he does make a nice recovery.
Brian Evans comes out of the lineup. Pat Knight checks in. Indiana's going to try to use its bench some too, Ted, bringing fresh guys in, especially at that guard position.
Indiana's got about 10 guys that can run in and out of there, and Coach Knight very confident of doing that at any time.
DeMarcus Doss again from the outside, a three-pointer. He's their best athlete, coming off a shoulder injury. 9 points now for Doss, 20-18. Indiana leads by 2. Henderson tries to post up. Here's a mismatch, and Henderson takes advantage of it, but not as much as Hart.
Oh.
Give me a comment on that.
Well, we saw him last game do a similar thing, caught one with both hands and threw it down. He just seems to hang around up around the rim.
Up there. Here's a shot by Allen is missed. Of course, the crowd still buzzing. And that's going to help the team defensively, too. Here's Bailey. Watch out for the charge. He a little out of control that time. Maggard draws the foul on Damon.
I'm a little bit surprised that they continue to let Devine guard Bailey. I see that look. And Bailey's like, we're going to take a look at this. Allen, nice job, good spin, good shot, and watch, Hart takes off. Oh my goodness! I think he bumped the bottom of the bankboard there with his head. What a tremendous athlete.
22-18, Indiana leads. 12:05 left. This is Doss, and you see Bailey really uptight on him now because he's starting to have a good game. Devine on the drive would rather shoot the three. Good defense there on the weak side. Indiana steals. The late fast break to Leary and the layup.
Nice job of Todd Leary. He just let everybody get in position and then just kind of snuck right down the lane. Good job by Pat Knight, giving him time and waiting on him to make that cut.
Steal by Henderson. He's going to try to dribble in. He's got the layup. No, they're going to call it off. For a big guy, he does a nice job. That was with the left hand, too, getting all the way to the hoop.
You can see the other thing, you take a look at Allen, the big brace is off. He's taken the big brace off of his leg. He's just got kind of a knee warmer there on his leg. A nice job of getting the ball down the floor and finishing. I don't know how, he's going to be shooting. Okay, he is shooting 1-and-1. I was going to say, no way can he be shooting 2 shots and not count the basketball. During today's game, we'll be mentioning some of the environmental benefits of soybean products, and with every foul shot made by the Hoosiers, Indiana's 40,000 soybean farmers will make a contribution to Gleaner's statewide food bank.
1 out of 2 by Henderson, but again, Hart there for the board. Henderson underneath, Hart. Layup is good. The offense really picking up now.
Well, there's a lot of movement away from the basketball, and because of that, Indiana's getting a lot of easy shots. Good hands by Steve Hart to come up with that ball.
Timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
7-18. We're going to take a look here. Good defense here. Nice job of knocking the ball away, but take a look at Todd Leary right here. He's running to the right of your screen. Watch how he slows down, gives the break time, just enough time so he's delayed coming down the lane and has an easy layup. And then here we're going to take a look at the dunk. Watch Steve Hart jump. It takes tremendous timing to be able to do that.
11:05 left. Here's Johnson. He gets away for his first shot, and he's deadly from the corner there. 27-20, little full court pressure now.
Coach Calhoun very upset at that last timeout. He didn't even have his players take a seat. He met him right out at the court, and I think he let them have a little bit of his mind. So look for them to come out and play very hard.
There's their defense, a screen by Henderson. Leary can't get the shot. This is Holmes, a big center at 6'9". On the offensive end, Henderson's able to block that shot and starts the fast break. 3-on-3 to Bailey.
It's got to be a goal.
Shot was off the backboard and slapped away, but no goaltending call.
Good timing by Eastern Kentucky to get up there and knock it away.
This is Stewart, top of the key. He likes that three-pointer. DeMarcus Doss, left-handed from the top. 27-23, 12 now for Doss, nearly at his season's average halfway through the first half. Henderson trying to get position inside. That foul goes against Holmes.
Personal foul, Eastern Kentucky, number 35.
Going to take a look at the blocked shots here. First, Allen Henderson. Watch how he keeps his body away from the man, keeps his body away from Holmes. That way, can't get his body into him. Damon Bailey gets the ball up on the glass.
That hit the glass.
It hit the glass, but in college, it can hit the glass and you can still block it. In the NBA, you cannot block it after it hits the glass, but if in college the ball has to be going down, I don't know. To me, it looked like the ball was above and coming down.
The coach didn't really say anything about that, so he must have agreed with that call. Henderson hits the shot. 29-23. We're at the 10-minute mark of the first half. Larry now with the job on Johnson.
See, he'll dribble the ball around out front a lot. He's a guy that will stop and take a 25, 30-foot jump shot at any time, too. Look for him to take a couple of NBA three-pointers today.
Steve Hart took a lunge that time to try to make that steal, and he gets called for the foul. I'd rather see him make that move off the dribble where he avoids the foul. If he can slap away off the dribble. Tougher to slap it away from a guy when he's got control of it. Holmes trying to get open inside. Trying to work the ball around the perimeter. This is Goss. Johnson gets help from Leary. Shot is missed. Holmes with a tap. Indiana can't come up with it. Now they do. Hart gets it to Bailey. 3-on-3. Bailey. Oh. Leary can't really handle it for the quick shot. Now Henderson's open. And there's big William Holmes with that board. That night back on D. Henderson. Oh, great move that time. Marlon Stewart wedged between two Indiana players to get that layup.
Pat not quite as quick. He's going to have to back off a little bit. Eastern Kentucky has wonderful athletic ability and very good quickness.
Lob pass to Bailey, converted. Pat Knight with the good lead there to Damon.
Damon Bailey with great hands there. That pass was thrown with a little zip on it, and Damon Bailey still able to come up with it and put it in.
Bailey now has 12 for the game.
See, they went around Pat once again. Pat going to have to back off, make him take the jump shot.
Rebound to Bailey. Indiana trying to pull the tempo up. Bailey's inside on Devine, and that is going to be a mismatch. 6 foot 170. Devine can't guard Bailey inside.
Very surprised that Coach Calhoun has not made a change. I mentioned it earlier. Damon Bailey, whenever he sees Devine guarding him, he's going to give it up. He's going to go down the block, tell people to clear out, let me have this spot. He's very confident that he can take over with Devine on his back.
Todd Lindeman in the lineup for Indiana. Brian Evans also in as Henderson and Pat Knight lead.
Pat did a nice job, made a couple really good passes.
Bailey at the line, and this will be for 2. Short on the first. 19 fouls already by Eastern Kentucky. Indiana with only 3.
You can see once in a while when he shoots that he gets to hop and almost hoping it, hoping the shot's going to go in rather than just shooting it with a lot of confidence, knowing that it's going to go in. That time there's no hop, and he just he knocks it right in.
It's easier to make that second one because you realize what you did wrong on that first one. 13 points now for Bailey. 32-25, 8:14 left. First half. Leary now with a matchup on Johnson. John Allen, their leading scorer out of the game, has been really ineffective here early. Devine forces a shot, but he draws the foul from Leary.
Good job by Devine of getting in and using his body. Wasn't a lot of body contact there, but Devine did a nice job of leaning into the defender. And in most cases in college, if you lean into that defender, they're going to call the foul on the defensive player.
Devine left-handed, 7.5 points a game.
We come back to the other end. Let's see if Bailey doesn't try to take Devine right down inside once again. Either that or take him off the dribble. Let's see if Coach Calhoun makes a change on the other end.
Call here is that Eastern Kentucky was over the line with Holmes a little too quickly. No, it's not. Let's see.
They're going to call Holmes for a foul of pushing.
Let's watch what happened on that free throw.
I'm going to take a look at it. Let's see. There's nothing happening right there. There should not have been any call right there. If he's going to make those type of calls, it's going to be a long, long season in the Big Ten.
That foul does go against Holmes, so not just stepping over the line, but called for trying to move out there on Lindeman. So Lindeman's at the other end to shoot because that's the 10th Colonel team foul. So Indiana gets 2 free throws the rest of the way in.
You saw a good isolation shot there. Is free throw shooting mechanical or concentration? Some would debate it, but there's no debate about soy diesel being a cost-effective pollution solution. The state of Indiana is testing it in snowplows this winter.
Lindeman's good on 2. It's 34-25. Indiana leads with 7:56 left, and we'll be back after these messages. And give a little preview of what to expect against the Kansas Jayhawks. Play is back in. Stewart dishes off back to Johnson, and he's deadly there, a little too far on the help. Leaves Johnson open.
Really gets that shot way up above his head. Very difficult for anybody to block, even though he's not very tall, but he's very effective in shooting that basketball.
There's Evans inside with Larry. Hart, Bailey, and Lindeman make the lineup for Indiana.
You can see the offense a little bit more compact right now. Eastern Kentucky dropping back in, making it more difficult for Indiana to get to the basket.
There's Doss alone, and a charge. Great play by Evans, getting back on defense.
Very good play by Brian Evans. Another one that won't show up in the stats, but a big play. Brian Evans does a nice job getting back. We're going to take a look at it. He does a nice job of getting in position. Doss needs to just pull up. You can see he just basically runs right over him. Doss needs to pull up for that 10-foot jump shot. Evans does a nice job of turning, squaring himself. I would have to feel like he's in pretty good position there, right there.
Contact forced by the offense. Sharon Wilkerson checks in the lineup. Leary comes out. Again, pressure. 7:13 left. And Ted, this is a crucial part of the game. Eastern Kentucky's still definitely in it with only down 6 points. This is a chance for Indiana to try to stretch that lead. Shot by Evans, partially blocked, no foul. And the Colonels come away with it. To Stewart again. Johnson on the recovery, forces that shot, and draws the foul that time by initiating the contact.
Good play by Johnson. Good shot fake there. Because of the shot fakes, Indiana getting off their feet, trying to put pressure on the basketball. Eastern Kentucky doing a nice job taking advantage of it. Again, kind of leaning in, jumping into the defender. Good smart play by Orlando Johnson.
.5'11", 170 Johnson from Owensboro, Kentucky. Played at the same high school that Rex Chapman, the player who was at Kentucky several years ago.
Plays with Calvert Chaney now with the Bullets.
A chance to talk to Calvert last week, and you'll see that interview in the Kansas pregame show. Calvert had some interesting comments about this year's Indiana's team. Indiana breaks the press. Pass is deflected by Johnson. Bailey did not touch it, although Johnson wanted that call. Indiana getting out of bounds. Again, this time out, the crispness, the alertness doesn't seem to be there for Indiana.
Indiana, I was a little surprised, didn't attack that press a little bit more than they did. They pretty much just came down and set up in their offense rather than really going to the basket and attacking.
There's a zone, 1-3-1. First time we've seen that by Eastern Kentucky. Bailey misses from the outside. Down quickly, here's Johnson. Evans trying to stay with him. Johnson able to get that shot. You're right, Ted. Very difficult, and he's deadly with it.
He leans it way back over his head. There's no way you're going to block the shot unless you come around from behind and get it. But Indiana not doing many good things on the defensive end. Eastern Kentucky getting a lot of easy shots.
9 points now for Johnson. A trap in the corner. Bailey's got it inside. Back to Wilkerson. He misses on that shot. Lindeman is going to draw the foul. Indiana seems to be getting the good shots, but they're not dropping.
Well, Indiana, I think their offense starts with their defense. Usually when they knock the ball away, have good defensive stands, they come to the other end and they get a lot of easy shots. So far, Eastern Kentucky continues to knock down their jump shots on the other end. They're not really getting to the basket and getting a lot of easy shots, but they're shooting the ball very, very well from outside.
Henderson checks in for Todd Lindeman. Pat Graham. And Wilkerson are the guards. Bailey and Evans inside. Henderson playing against Holmes in the center.
Do a lot of screening down along the baseline. Good defensive effort by Brian Evans, knocking the ball away.
Marlon Stewart off with that shot. Wilkerson picks the dribble up, and Bailey comes in to help.
They're back in a man-to-man. Let's see if Indiana can't spread it out a little bit and get somebody cutting down the lane.
Bailey wants to post up on Johnson, and that's pretty easy. He missed the shot, but Wilkerson has the rebound.
Wilkerson much bigger than Devine. Again, Devine didn't do a very good job of getting Wilkerson off the board. Wilkerson got his hands on it, able to get it in.
Wilkerson now with 5 points. He's had a good first half. Indiana leads by 4. Just under 5 minutes left. Holmes with a good move inside. Can't let the big center hit the ball on the block.
He's big, very thick through his chest. Big, strong guy inside.
6'9", 240. Evans outside. Now here's inside Henderson. Shot doesn't go. Devine called for the foul.
Going to take a look at Indiana last time down the floor.
His second personal.
Let's see the pass to Pat Graham outside. See Bailey how he cuts down the lane and he's looking to do, get the ball inside. You can see the ball kind of falls in Sharon Wilkerson's hands. That Eastern Kentucky really didn't do too bad a job of blocking off, but the ball kind of bounced Indiana's way that time. With that foul shot, Indiana's 40,000 soybean farmers remind you that Soy Diesel reduces smog, air pollution, and dependence on foreign oil.
Henderson off the back on that second one. Indiana leads by 3. 4:30 left. First half. In a closely contested game where Eastern Kentucky has come ready to play.
Personal foul, Indiana.
Call inside is against Indiana.
That's his first
Henderson's first. It puts Indiana over the limit, so 1-1 now. With Holmes, William Holmes at the line, 13.5 a game. 6'9" senior. There's Henderson. Doesn't seem to have that knee really bothering him, Ted. You mentioned the braces off, but he seems to be getting up the court very well. Hope that's fully recovered. Shot is missed by Holmes, and Bailey has the rebound. Crowd getting restless. Indiana leads only by 3.
Sometimes when the crowd gets restless, all Indiana does is move quicker. But that time, nice job. Brian Evans did a good job posting up with his back to the basket.
Brian's first 2. He's averaging 16 a game.
Now this is where I'd like to see the crowd get restless on this end of the floor. Indiana not been very effective defensively the last couple times down.
Johnson going inside. Evans helped out well that time and able to deflect that away. We've got a timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Offensive. You can see Brian Evans jumps out, but that's one that you can't switch. Coach Knight doesn't want to see him on Johnson. Wilkerson does a nice job of recovering. Evans gets his hand on. Good defensive play. That's the type of thing Indiana needs to do.
Little mistake on defense, corrected by the out-of-bounds play. There's your shooting.
Indiana 13 of 23 for 56%, but Eastern Kentucky also shooting the basketball very well. It's 56%.
Missed that one, however, and Evans able to come up with it. Indiana leads by 5. Evans to Bailey. There's a layup. He got it.
There wasn't much space to get that ball in there, but Brian Evans, a very, very good passer. We've seen already this year a number of great passes, but another great pass for an easy layup to Damon Bailey.
Bailey with 15 first half points. Devine goes all the way in. Wilkerson with the block. 5-on-1 by Indiana. And a foul called as Johnson able to draw the blocking foul before Henderson slammed. But boy, Bailey really made a nice move to the right to avoid that charging call.
And that's a bad call. That play has nothing to do with the play. You can take a look. Sharon Wilkerson does a great job of coming over. Devine didn't see him. This has nothing to do with the play. There's nothing at all to do with the play. That is a bad call. That should be 2 points for Indiana. There's no reason to make that call 15 feet from the basket.
Bailey gets 2 free throws instead. Again, falls a little short and doesn't get that one to go. Mike Calhoun is up trying to talk to the scorer. To no avail. Bailey's got a second shot. And he's good on that second one. 42-34. Indiana now by 8. 3:16 left.
Where it starts on this end of the floor. Indiana, they've made good defensive runs. You can see here they're going to throw it back out.
Devine for 3. He loves that shot. He's over 50% on the year, and he cuts the lead to 5.
They're just looking to get you out of position one place, and then they just start passing the ball around. Bailey inside.
Posting up. He goes right to Devine. Indiana cleared the whole middle for Damon. He went to work.
Coach Calhoun has got to make a change. No possible way can Devine guard Damon Bailey, and he continues to put him on him.
18 points now for Bailey. Shot outside by Stewart is good, and a push by Bailey. He was inside the 3-second line, or this could have been a 4-point play, and that's what Calhoun wants. He wants it to be a 3-point shot. Let's
take a look at it.
Picks up. See, he's inside, and that left hand is,
oh boy,
what they're going to call him for. Kit, you didn't like that one either, huh?
That's not much contact. It didn't look like to me. He was pushing him. His hand did ride up with him on his body a little bit, but I don't feel like it affected the shot much. A little picky here in the first half as far as calling fouls.
That's 2 on Bailey. Stewart makes it a 3-point play, 44-41. In a high-scoring game, and we mentioned these Colonels like to score points, and they're doing it today. Graham inside. Wilkerson just outlet him a little bit. Turnover by Indiana.
It was a good idea. There was good things happening. There was a good cut by Graham, but he just let him a little bit too much. At this point in the game, Coach wants to finish very strong at the half. He's not looking for that type of play, the turnover.
Experienced lineup now for Indiana as Leary comes in. Graham is in. Both seniors. Bailey's a senior, Evans a sophomore, and Henderson a junior. So looking for these last 2 minutes. Indiana tries the experience route. Johnson tries from outside. He's long. Good pressure by Bailey.
Good rebound and pass by Alan Henderson to get it out.
Bailey's going inside. Good switch that time as Stewart anticipated the pass. Help side and made the steal. Now he comes down at the other end. Stewart for a 3, and he is on fire. We've got a ball game. Indiana leading now by 1. Bailey takes it in.
Gonna give that one up.
Henderson wants to drive in, misses. Evans can't tap, out of bounds. Things really going well for Eastern Kentucky.
Indiana doing a little bit too much one-on-one right now. Alan Henderson needed to give that ball up and then go down the lane and post and get the ball back. When he has to take it down there, Indiana's offense a little bit out of sync.
Eastern Kentucky with a chance to take the lead on this possession. 1:22 left in the half.
For a team like Eastern Kentucky, the new rule of dribbling the ball as much as you want, really a big plus for them because they like to dribble the ball and get it into their offense, and I think it really helps them.
Shots missed. Bailey for 3 is off. Henderson boards, and a foul. It's going to be on the rebound on Maggard, pushing off on Henderson.
Alan Henderson does a good job. He wasn't able to get that ball, but he tips it to himself, and he was going to take it up very strong. He'll be going to the line for 2 shots. Coach Knight going to take Damon Bailey out of the game here with a minute 3. He's got 2 fouls. Don't want to have the opportunity of him picking up a 3rd foul, as important as he is to this team.
Bailey leads with 18 points. A good first half as Henderson converts. Indiana by 2 as Eastern Kentucky makes a substitution. 24 is Tim Barnett, 6-foot freshman. Replaces Devine. Devine leaves with 3, made a 3-pointer. Henderson good on that second one. Lead is now 3, and we're at 1 minute left in the first half.
Eastern Kentucky does a lot of screening on the ball, and all they do is look to get you out of position one place. Oh, Alan Henderson almost with a steal. They look to get you out of position one place, and then they just take advantage of it.
And there's a smart play, a tap back, and Eastern Kentucky gets another possession. Shot clock alive now, about a 10-second difference.
They've really spread out the floor here, almost a 4-corner type thing.
Tough play to stop. Johnson really jumps well, and Leary doesn't have a chance to block it. The shot's missed, and Leary has the board. Now Indiana can play for 1 shot as Leary motions for some help.
Coach Knight has not got up and indicated that he's looking for just 1 shot, but I would think with the veterans on the floor that they will start looking for a shot here with about 7 seconds to go.
Pat Graham's going to take a three-pointer. He's got it. And what a play at the 3-second mark. Graham hits the shot. A final three-quarter court shot is missed. And Indiana makes a big play to lead now, 49-43 at the half. We'll be back with our halftime after these messages. There's Johnson. This is Stewart inside with a great first half. He dishes off. And an easy hoop that time for John Allen. Lead cut to 4 now. Allen's fourth point. This is a 1-3-1 zone trap. Ted, what does Indiana want to do against this?
They got to find their open shots in the corners. Evans came out, missed his first shot. Good confidence builder there to come back. If you're going to get the open shot, you got to take it. You can't worry about missing that first shot. That's where the openings are going to be. Look for Henderson with short baseline jump shots in the offense.
Indiana leads by 6, 1 minute into the second half. Here's Holmes backing up on Henderson. Again, he's able to block it. That's twice. Holmes has had it rejected. Wilkerson picks it up. Bailey's inside. Good screen there by Evans for the easy layup.
Good job by Bailey. Right away he saw that there was a mix-up on the defense. He cut right down through the middle. Pat Graham saw him for the opening.
Indiana leads by 8. Here's again Holmes inside on Henderson. Let's see if he gets this one away. It's long. Wilkerson with the board. The defense starting to pick up. Bailey. The lob to Pat Graham.
Oh, good block.
Blocked by Allen. Evans right there for the board. Now the ball seems to be coming Indiana's way. And a shoestring there. Bailey gets timeout by the official to tie that up.
Being in the right place at the right time. Brian Evans seems to have a knack for that. Once again, great defensive play by Eastern Kentucky to knock the lob pass away. Brian Evans picks it up, knocks it in for 2 points. A big 2 points for Indiana at this point in time.
Indiana now leads by 10. Stewart gives it up. Here's Allen outside for 3. He is off there. A foul away from the ball. That's on Stewart as he tried to block out on Pat Graham. That's his third foul. And that will hurt Eastern Kentucky. That foul's on Stewart, 34. His second here in this half, so all of a sudden he's in foul trouble.
They're back to a man-to-man. You can see Stewart has taken Bailey. At the end of the half, we saw Devine. That's a charge.
Yep. Well, Graham put his head down that time. Allen took the foul. There you see Coach Knight. He just wants Graham to come right up and take that shot. He was only 8-10 feet away from the hoop there, and he tried to get closer.
He had the shot. He's got to take it. That's the one thing he has been doing. He's just taking what he's getting rather than trying to continue onto the basket. Allen didn't get an opportunity to shoot much in the first half, but he's come out here in the second half trying to make up for that. Not a very good shot for Eastern Kentucky. Great pass.
Oh, what a pass by Graham. He kept that ball 2 feet off the ground. Bailey came up with it.
Great comeback by Pat Graham last time down the floor. Made a big mistake. He knew it was a mistake when he leaned in, made the charge, and comes back, looks for Bailey. Once again, moving without the ball. Damon Bailey, very, very effective in the Indiana offense.
Johnson's outside. Here's Stewart. Had such a great first half. Bailey strips him now. 3 on 2.
All the way.
He calls it. No, he can't get the roll. Again, we saw Damon this year, Ted. He said head down. He's going all the way.
You can take a look at Coach. He's excited about the way Indiana's playing here. Good hands by Bailey. Does a nice job. Eastern Kentucky doesn't protect it. You can see it right here. From this point on, he's taking it all the way. This is a shot that he's usually going to make.
Just bounces off the rim.
It's a couple times today Indiana's had an opportunity to finish possible three-point plays they have, and Allen Henderson missed one in the first half that I think he would like to have had back, and Damon Bailey, that's one he's usually going to finish. He would have liked to have used the board, but he didn't have the angle to get it up on the board.
Maggard checks in, and Stewart has to leave because he picked up that third foul. Bailey now with 22 already, but struggling a little from the line.
When you check the stats in tomorrow's paper, they're probably printed with environmentally friendly Soy ink. I know the Indianapolis Star and News and the Bloomington Herald-Time use Soy ink. Does your newspaper?
Lead now 13 by Indiana. Bailey puts it up to 14. So first 3 minutes of this second half, Indiana starting to take control of the game.
Eastern Kentucky came out and got a basket the first time down the floor. Since then, not been very effective. Indiana's defense been all over them.
Just 2 second-half points here, which has enabled Indiana to stretch their lead. Holmes and Henderson inside. Holmes blocked again. This time they're going to call it.
It's a late call, but a good one by Phil Bove. I think Henderson definitely slapped down. In the IU scouting report, it's amazing how good they are, but you know, Henderson's very well equipped. He knows that Holmes, when he gets the ball in the low post, he's going to turn to his right shoulder every time he gets it. He backs in and he turns the same way every time he turns to his right shoulder. Henderson knew that before the game ever started. Because of that, he's been able to block about 3 shots.
The advantage of scouting. And Holmes at the line, good touch there. Three points now on the afternoon. Second foul on Henderson. Indiana leads by 13. Henderson's got this rebound.
I think coach has talked about getting the ball and getting it down the floor before Eastern Kentucky can get into their defense. Once again, they're into a 1-3-1 defense here. Look for openings in the corners.
There's a corner by Evans. Three-pointer short. Henderson boards. And that foul comes from Maggard to prevent the layup.
Alan Henderson, once again, that's one that you'd like to see him finish. Nice job getting in great rebounding position. We're going to take a look at it. Evans is going to take a shot from the corner, which is where the openings is going to be. You can see Henderson in great position, but he's got to hold on to that ball right there. He slaps him pretty good, but you see a lot of big, strong guys take that one up for a three-point play.
Brad Devine checks in for Maggard. Also, Stewart comes back in. And I think Mike Calhoun, Ted's at the point now, he's got to put all his horses in there because this thing's getting away now. Indiana leading by 13.
Yeah, he's sticking Stewart back in there. It was really a big part of their offense in the first half. Devine, also a good shooter, hit a couple threes in the first half. I'm interested to see what they do defensively if they continue to stay in the zone. If they continue to fall behind, they're going to obviously have to go to man-to-man.
Henderson is long on that first one. Better form there. Nothing but net. Indiana leads by 14 now. 16:23 left.
Indiana picking up at the half-court line, trying to put a lot of defensive pressure on Eastern Kentucky.
Evans been pretty quiet today's game, although he slaps that ball away, and Bailey saves it inbounds.
Another great play by Brian Evans, something you won't see in the paper. Bad pass by Damon Bailey. And, you know, you watch tennis matches and they talk about unforced errors. It's one thing to make a turnover when a team makes a good defensive play, but just to come down and throw it right out of bounds, that's one that Coach Knight can't be very happy with.
8th turnover now for Indiana. Here's Johnson and Graham. Graham does a nice job to keep him out of the middle. Devine also kept out of the middle. Henderson's fronting now on Holmes, not to let that ball go in.
Making it much more difficult for them to get the ball.
Allen likes that shot outside.
Has a strange release on his shot, kind of down in front of his face, kind of flicks it.
It's effective, though, as he has a chance to become their all-time leading scorer. Just having a tough game at the scoring end today. Bailey is scoring easily, and there again he goes over Devine. We saw that matchup in the first half.
They're bound and determined Devine's going to stop Bailey, and it just is not going to happen. 26 points. A good shake and bake that time by Devine. That stop-and-go dribble, really effective there. Good hesitation dribble. That's one thing I know that Indiana works on in practice for their guards, to get that defender just to fall asleep just for a second. Indiana, you're going to take a look at it in the replay. You can see he gets down in the corner and he's going to do a little hesitation. Right there, went right by. Does a nice job getting the ball up on the glass over Wilkerson.
Leary checks in for Wilkerson as Sharon's picked up 2 fouls now. There he is on the bench. Devine's at the line with 2. Good on the first, and Marcus Doss back in the lineup. He also had a good first half with 12 points. And Holmes comes out, so now a small lineup in for Eastern Kentucky.
Look for Indiana on the offensive end to continue to pound it inside, whether it be Bailey, a guard, or take it down inside to Allen Henderson or Brian Evans.
We've got a timeout with 15:09 left. Indiana leads 62-48. We'll be back after these messages. 14 points, 15:09 left, so we're into that first 5 minutes. Let's take a look at some of the defense Indiana's been using in the second half.
Take a look at the wide look. You can see a double team there. Not a very good job of getting back. Indiana in the first half didn't get back to that three-pointer, and because of it, they shot 63%. Watch Indiana here. Need to take advantage of that break.
Full court on the press. It was 2-on-1, and Graham there, he pulls up for the 10-footer. The same shot he got called on the foul before, so he's learned his lesson well. He's got 7 on the afternoon.
Indiana's outscored him 15-5 to start the second half. Good job by Indiana.
Allen tries to post up and does now on Henderson. We mentioned a smaller lineup now for the Colonels. So Henderson draws Allen, and a quick move there gets him into the hoop.
Todd Leary just a little bit late coming over. He was down there in a position where he could take a charge, but he didn't get the position. Tried to slide out of there, still caught him with his body.
Allen's good on that free throw. Born and raised in the Newcastle area, John Allen was transferred in junior high school out to Kentucky, Burkesville, Kentucky, near Bowling Green. Here's the press again, 3/4 court. Graham able to break it. Bailey again working inside. They've got DeMarcus Doss on him right now. Graham tries 3 and is short. Indiana not as sharp as they have been in the Indiana Classic last weekend. Here's Johnson again outside.
Good block
just short. The block out again. That ball picked up off the ground by Bailey. Lob to Graham, to Henderson. Good passing.
Great passing there. Good touch on the ball. Good pass from Bailey to Graham, and then Graham waited just long enough for Henderson to get in position where all he had to do is put his hands on it and just kind of tip it in.
14 points now for Henderson, again scoring well. Here's Stewart. Evans tips that ball, but Allen able to get the board. And now Evans all alone on the break.
Good lead pass.
Good Devine, a nice job to deflect that ball. Nobody's picked it up yet. Indiana can't convert. And the ball comes back the Colonel's way.
Good play by Eastern Kentucky. Brian Evans got to be strong with that basketball. Got to get it in the hole. There's no foul there. I think that's a pretty good play.
Stewart on the turn.
Eastern Kentucky starting to force some shots quick with quite a bit of pressure on them.
I think Indiana's wearing them down a little defensively. Here's Henderson again, that matchup as Allen giving up quite a few inches, but Allen fell a little too far away that time. The ball comes up short. Stewart at the other end. He's off. He needs to have a little slower tempo. Contact and a foul there.
Ron Felling getting out on the floor for his first save of the year. Somebody throws a little red basketball out on the floor.
Holmes is back in the lineup as Allen comes out.
They need Holmes in the lineup. Indiana really going to go down inside without him in there. You can see once again, Devine, they're going right at him. Whenever he's in the basketball game, Indiana continues to go right at him. That time he got switched off on Brian Evans.
24, Tim Barnett checks in at 6 foot, but Johnson comes out because he's got 4 fouls. But Eastern Kentucky's got 2 guards, and Indiana really with Leary, the only true guard, because Bailey's playing inside. There's always going to be that mismatch.
Yeah, there's going to continue to be a mismatch, and that's what coach is really looking at. And with this team, he really likes that type of matchup where he can do a lot of different things offensively. Defensively, he can switch almost everybody, almost interchange all 5 guys. You can even have Allen Henderson out guarding somebody on the floor.
Evans is off on that free throw. Indiana struggling today from the line. Evans with 75% coming in the game, 12 of 16. He's off there. Better on the second. And Hart will replace Evans after he makes that free throw. So now Indiana also has a smaller lineup. Evans leads the game with 7 points. Well below his 16 per game average. Indiana leads by 17 now, 13 minutes left. Here's Devine. Gives it off to Maggard. And he makes a tough shot again off the dribble.
Leary letting Devine get way down, way too deep into the lane. Able to pass it off Maggard, able to get a shot.
Bailey cuts inside. Great pass by Leary. 69-52, Indiana leads. Now Bailey with 28 points, one more, and he ties his season high from the last game. Lob pass inside to Holmes. Very well executed. The weak side help not there.
Good hands by Holmes. Very easy to travel on that play. Indiana had some help side, but Holmes able to take it out of the air and get it in.
Steve Hart again has that ball tipped away, but he recovers.
Got to take that.
There he does take that as he dribbles inside and misses. Rebound comes out. Here's Bailey on a post. Goes around. Henderson's open. Good patience here by Indiana. Hart.
Well, it wasn't a slam dunk, but it still counts too. What ball control he has on that rebound.
Right. I'm sure he'll tell everybody that that's exactly what he had in mind, but I think he was just looking to tip it up there any place he could up on the glass. Todd Leary going to have to do a better job on this end of the floor.
Timeout, and we'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Back at Assembly Hall where Indiana's moved out to a 17-point lead. I'm going to show you the last 3 times down the floor, Leary has let Devine go left. He's a left-handed player. He obviously wants to go left. He goes left. He gets into the lane. He creates problems. You can see they get the post up. Good hands by Holmes here, able to catch it and put it in the basket. Leary has got to make Devine go right. Take a look at shooting. Eastern Kentucky, 23% this half. Indiana still up over the 50% range.
Indiana offensively, Bailey tips it off to Lindemann. So as they concentrate more on Bailey, he's able to make the assist that time to Lindemann. He now has 4 points.
Lindemann will find out if he just gets himself in the right positions that Damon Bailey will get him the basketball. You can see that time he's forcing him right. A little bit better job. Indiana going to have to help out a little bit better on the baseline. That's exactly where they want him to go.
Try to use that baseline as another defender. For Eastern Kentucky, number 50, Wiki Tyson, 6'8.5" freshman in the lineup. And he's matched up with Lindemann there on the foul lane. Devine outside with that free throw, gets his 6th point. Coach Knight calls Leary over. He's got a message for Damon. 73-55, 11:09 left. Second foul now on Graham. Devine good on the second. Full court pressure. Colonels have to do something to get back in this game, but Indiana breaks the press and tries to convert offensively again to Lindemann. And Lindemann's got his second easy hoop.
And the 2 main things in the last 2 plays have just been Todd Lindemann catching the basketball. People have continued to get him the ball in the right positions. So many games he's not able to catch it, and because of it he can't finish. The last 2 times down the floor he's caught it, and because of it he's got an easy layup and a dunk.
Tyson with a good move there as he used that shot fake to get around Lindemann, his first 2 of the game. Man-to-man defense. Leary's at the point. The pick set that time by Lindemann, but Bailey was falling back. 2-on-2. Move inside by Barnett, and Bailey was able to block that ball out of bounds.
Damon Bailey didn't quite get his feet underneath him last time down the floor. Going to take a look at it here as they knock the ball away. Good job by Eastern Kentucky taking the ball to the basket. Just going to have to hold on to it a little bit better. Indiana get their hands in there.
Drive inside by Doss, and again he's having a good night left-handed. He's got 14 afternoon. He's got 14 this afternoon. Press behind the back dribble, nearly stolen, and is loose now. Scramble for it, and that's going to be a kick as Hart really ran right into the ball.
Coach Yeagley got up in the stands when he saw that. They got to kicking it around out there. He got excited there for he thought maybe soccer season was getting ready to start again.
Jerry Yeagley, of course, the IU soccer coach. There's a look at the Eastern Kentucky bench.
Turnovers, still good for Indiana, just 9. 23, Maggard.
Good rotation by Indiana's defense. They forced him where they wanted to, down there on the baseline, and everybody.
Leary tries that lob pass, and it goes well over even Steve Hart's ability to leap.
Coach Knight upset about the lob pass because he threw it from too far out. He's got to get in a little bit closer where he's got a little bit better control. He threw that ball from almost half court.
And Leary comes out. Wilkerson comes in the game. You're right, Ted. There's got to be times when that play's set up and you're ready to run it. That time a little too much distance.
Most of the time you'll see that play run from the passer will be just around the three-point arc, maybe just a foot or two outside of it. Leary threw it from about 15 feet outside of the three-point arc, and it just makes it very difficult for the timing and for the play to go over well.
Stewart outside is long. Wilkerson's got the board.
Need to pull it out. Get into an offense here. Try to get Damon Bailey open.
Graham's open, a little short on that jumper. Indiana back on defense. Good drive inside that time by Barnett.
Very quick into the basket.
Indiana not able to draw the charge there. Let's look at the drive.
Little crossover dribble, gets Steve Hart reaching, didn't move his feet. In that situation, Todd Lindeman does a pretty good job of coming over. In that situation, as big as he is, he needs to keep his body away from the man and go up and try to block the shot. You let that guy get his body into you, most of the time he's going to draw a foul.
Barnett's a 6-foot freshman from Louisville. Only 7.5 points a game. But very quick. And again, Ted, those are players that can hurt Indiana by getting in that lane.
Let's see if Indiana doesn't do a little bit better job on the offensive end this time. They've looked very poor the last 3 or 4 times down the floor.
Now Bailey brings the ball up. Indiana's 1-4 across the lane. Again, Bailey a little wild on that pass. Not the good passing angle that Indiana likes to look for.
Indiana kind of standing around waiting for the ball to come to them. Usually Coach Knight likes to see the offense moving before the ball ever crosses half court. Right now, not much going on as far as screening offensively.
The defense has been good, though, for Indiana here in the second half as they now hold a 13-point lead. But the Colonels definitely not out of this game yet. There's an outside shot by Devine, and you can see how quickly they make this a game. It's now a 10-point Indiana lead. Devine has 10 points.
Indiana running a high offense. This is an offense where you want the ball in Damon Bailey's hands. Pat Graham looking to score.
Set some back screens here, get guys open for layups underneath without weak side help.
Good shot fake.
Shot fake by Graham, and he gets the bank shot to go. Indiana leads 77-65 with that 76th point. After the game, stop by your neighborhood 76 station for quality 76 gasolines or convenience items. Pass inside is good as Tyson is able to get that shot away before Lindeman blocks it. That's Tyson's 4th point. So as soon as Indiana scores, the Colonels come down and match the basket.
Indiana's defense really breaking down. That time they're able to get all the way to the basket. Does a nice job of passing off and getting the easy layup. He gets hammered down inside. Good penetration by Indiana by Damon Bailey, feeding it off to Pat Graham.
Better offense the last 2 times down the floor by Indiana as they continue to try to go inside. Alan Henderson checks back in, as does Brian Evans. Wilkerson and Lindeman come out. Tyson picks up his first foul for Eastern Kentucky. Doss checks back in, and Stewart comes out. Todd Leary checks in, so quite a few substitutions. Hart leaves. Indiana trying to get some experience in there right now. 10-point lead with 7.5 to go. Good time to play smart. Graham's good on that first free throw.
Pat Graham, a wonderful free throw shooter, gets up there, has a lot of confidence, and just shoots the basketball about as well as you could want it done.
Seems to be taking advantage of that role to come off the bench this year too, Ted. He's been effective there. We've got timeout, 7:28 left. Indiana leads 79-67, and we'll be back after these messages.
My dad's a farmer.
Eastern Kentucky making a run at 79-67. We're going to take a look at Indiana last time down the floor. Nice job of screening. Pat Graham going to come off here, get the ball. The thing that sets this up is a shot fake. Watch him, nice shot fake. The man runs by him, does a nice job of gathering himself, and that's why they put that glass up there, so you'll use it.
Shooting percentages, Indiana even for the halves, but Eastern Kentucky really struggling here in this second half, but they're definitely not out of this game yet. Johnson outside with Leary. Looks like they're trying to go inside more. Barnett, again, very quick. Bailey's on him. Goes left. Bailey blocks that shot. Nice job to keep him out of the middle.
Good defense by Damon Bailey. Good individual play there.
Man-to-man defense now. Bailey goes inside. Here's Evans. Reverse layup is good. He covers a lot of room there to get that shot.
Got those long octopus arms out there, and he's able to get around and get that easy shot.
Spins that in for 9, and Johnson answers right away. Just as we talked about not driving in the middle, Johnson's able to do that. 81-69, 12-point Indiana lead. This is a good Eastern Kentucky team. Look for them in that Ohio Valley to do very well. Good pass to Bailey as he makes that flash cut inside, and is fouled.
Indiana, very good interior passing team. They continue to look for one another. Take a look at the replay. Brian Evans, nice job. And see how he waits. Sometimes with that extra second, if you'll just take an extra second to wait, it gives people a chance to get into position. If he'd have thrown that ball right back out, that play would have never happened because he held on to it, waited for an extra second. Damon Bailey able to go to the line.
5 for 8 today. That's Tyson's second foul.
The information provided in today's game regarding the environmental benefits of soybean product was brought to you by Indiana's 40,000 soybean farmers and made possible through their contribution to Gleaner's statewide food bank.
Bailey's good on both. That gives him 30 points now for the game, a new season high for Bailey. Indiana leads by 14. Leary keeps Johnson out of the middle. Very good there. Devine wants the outside shot. He's going to take it as Graham falls back. Leary with a big board there. Indiana slows up, then the delayed fast break again as the give and go between Graham and Leary gets Leary the layup.
And for all the little kids at home, watch how Todd Leary's able to use that left hand. He's very effective with it, and if he hadn't had a left hand there, he probably would have got that shot blocked. Great job.
Timeout by Eastern Kentucky. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Good play here. Now watch Todd Leary how he uses his left hand. You can see how he probably gets that shot blocked if he uses his right hand, but very good as far as using his left hand, and great finish to a great play.
Eastern Kentucky outside. They've spread the floor now. Looks like they're running a little delay game. Down 16 points.
In this situation, I think you'll really see Coach Knight probably tell his team to back off to the three-point line. Just don't let them get three-pointers. That's what they're looking for to try to get back in the game. There's no reason to put a lot of pressure on them all the way out at the 10-second line.
Trying to get the drive inside to take away Indiana's help, and Stewart misses on that shot. Here's inside to Bailey with Johnson. Bailey just short. Indiana recovers. And a new shot clock as Indiana sets the offense again. Evans outside for 3. Just misses. Henderson using his size inside. Evans misses on the tip. Indiana so close on that possession.
Henderson worked awful hard that time down the floor to come up empty. Got 2 offensive rebounds.
Henderson wisely slows it down. Again, needs to run some clock here as much as they do to score points.
Indiana needs to spread it out a little bit more. Too many people standing along the lane. There's not any room to move down the lane.
Graham was open and Leary saw it. Pat was fouled as he tried the shot.
They're trying to cut people in and out of the lane, but because everybody's being so tight to the lane, their defender's standing right there with them. There's no room to cut in and out of the lane. Todd Leary able to get a pass to Pat Graham, and he's hacked pretty good as he'll go to the line.
Pat Knight checks in for Brian Evans. Evans leaves with 9. John Allen comes out for Eastern Kentucky. Graham's good on the first. We talked about Indiana's offense, Ted. Indiana's been averaging 90 points a game. Looks like they'll easily reach that again today. This is a team that can score a lot of points.
Eastern Kentucky had, 43 points at halftime. They're only up, not even to 70 yet, with only 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes left in the game. Indiana's defense done a nice job during the second half.
There you see the score. 4:20 left. Doss with a tough shot. They really like those one-on-one moves and taking that shot off the dribble. 16 now for Doss. Leary able to control it. Saves it to Bailey. Now back to Graham. Good hustle there. Lob to Henderson. And a steal by Stewart. But he gets called for the foul. Boy, Indiana really did a nice job of keeping control of that ball. Look at Bob Knight, 521 career victories here at Indiana, looking for 522. And Mike Calhoun, just in his second year at Eastern Kentucky after serving 3 years as assistant coach. Stewart picks up his 4th foul. And Henderson goes to the line.
Alan Henderson.
That's another double-double for Henderson, even without that free throw, for his 6th game this year.
Henderson
Johnson
needs to step out on that play. Not a very good defensive stand by Indiana that time down the floor.
13 now for Johnson. 14-point lead. Indiana works offensively.
You can see how tight it is in there along the lane. They're trying to post some people, but this time, at this point in the game, I think they'd want to spread it out a little bit, get some people cutting down the lane.
That's Henderson with a pass back to Graham. Misses on the shot. And a push. 32, that's Doss. And Ted, Graham is matched up with Johnson, and that's a 5-inch difference there, and I think they're trying to get Graham in there, but like you said, it's congested in there.
You're going to see a good pass by Alan Henderson right here, and Graham is expecting Holmes to turn around. Finally, he does turn around, but he just kind of caught it in an awkward position there and wasn't able to get it up on the glass, and because of it, he missed the shot.
Bailey now with 31. I wonder how he got to the line. It looked like maybe it was on the rebound. They didn't call the foul there on Holmes on the shot. They called on the rebound to Bailey.
I think Coach mentioned to the referees he needed 2 free throws to tie his career high, so they thought they'd let him shoot. So
I didn't hear that myself, but in fact, Bailey does tie his career high. Remember that 32 he had back in February of '91 against Ohio State. Johnson leaves his feet, but the pass is saved by
who's
Doss.
there but Alan Henderson once again to pick up the rebound. Good decision by Pat Graham not to give it to Bailey cutting down the lane. There's no reason to at this point in time.
Because just like that can happen, a trap, and Bailey called for the travel.
You got too many people inside that lane. You need to spread things out and just hold it out there until Eastern Kentucky comes out there to guard you.
Richard Mandeville checks in the lineup as Alan Henderson leaves, probably for the rest of the game. Outside shot by Stewart is missed. Good block out by Pat Knight as that ball comes right back to him. Indiana slows it up. Mandeville quickly gets rid of it. Bailey trying to work inside. Mandeville takes that 15-footer. Devine has the rebound. Indiana's back defensively. Good pick there by Holmes, and a lead to Doss. Good pass. The shot and the foul by Indiana. Pat Graham draws that foul. And this is the only thing that can hurt Indiana. The opponent scoring with the clock stopped.
Oh, offensively, Indiana not scoring a lot of points, but good cut here. Pat Graham gets his back turned. Good cut by Doss to the basket. Pat Knight not able to come over and help out in time as Damon Bailey's taken out of the game with 32 points. Great effort again by Damon Bailey. Another great day.
Holmes comes out for Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky playing some very, very tough opponents. They've already been playing Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky. They're going to play UNLV, Oklahoma. They're playing some very, very tough opponents, and I imagine it'll pay off when it gets to their conference season.
13-point lead by Indiana. Just over 2 minutes left. Indiana running some clock. Eastern Kentucky's looking for that steal. And a foul now by Doss. Every foul that Eastern Kentucky commits now is 2 free throws for Indiana.
Coach talking to Richard Mandeville, probably more than anything about screening. That's what he's in there to do at this point in the game. And as big a guy as he is with that big a body, Coach wants him out there setting good solid screens. And you can see Doss fouls out of the game, but it was a very good showing for Doss.
16 points, and the crowd here gives him a nice hand as he leaves. Mike Calhoun with some time now to make a substitution. He checks with Phil Bova. John Allen comes in. 2:02 left. Indiana by 13. Good day for Sharon, as he's mostly in there for his defense and rebounding. Misses on that first one.
Thank you, sir. One shot, gentlemen.
Short on that second one. So much easier in practice. It seems to be in the games. Here's Johnson. He wants the shot. Larry stays on the ground well. Pat Knight with the board. Here's a fast break to Graham, who goes up with the layup. What do you think about the fast break in that situation, Ted?
Well, they had the advantage. Go ahead and take it. Really, it's a call that the guy with the ball, Pat Knight's going to have to make. He can either stop at half court and pull it back out. He sees the opportunity for Pat Graham to take it to the basket, and he did have quite a bit of an opening there. The guy came around and slapped him pretty good. So pretty good decision.
Turns out to be Devine's 5th foul, so he leaves the game.
It was a decision that turned out quite divine.
I'll tell you, you're coming right along. 10 points for Devine. And Tim Barnett takes his place. Graham good on that free throw. As you know, he's an excellent free throw shooter. 88% on the year. He's only missed 2 all year. Good on the second. 91-76. Graham now with 15 points. And a timeout called by Mike Calhoun and Eastern Kentucky with 1:43 left. Indiana leads 91-76. We'll be back after these messages. Well, there's Bob Knight, Norm Ellenberger on the Indiana bench to stay within 15 points of Indiana, especially with Allen, their leading scorer, having a tough day. Other players have come through, taking their time offensively here. Dyson inside. Maggard from the outside is good on that shot.
Indiana lunging defensively. That's something Wednesday night, if they do that. Kansas, a team that shot fakes, ball fakes very, very good. You get to lunging defensively and teams are going to get you out of position.
Zone now by the Colonels. Indiana trying to run some time off. Tough pass there as Pat Knight recovers. Under 1 minute now to go.
Just hold on to it. Just back out. If they're going to play zone, now they're back into a man-to-man, but make them come out and get it.
Shot clock at 5. Indiana needs to throw one up. Leary does. Allen rebounds. Tipped away by Hart. 42 seconds left. Maggard tries the left side now and is off. Here's Wilkerson. Let's see if he slows it down. Very good. And we're into the final 30 seconds. Indiana will move its record now to 5-1 with 5 consecutive victories. Here's Pat Knight on the baseline. He's off. The rebound comes right to Hart. And a drive to the basket ends up in a charging foul. Out of control a little bit there. And Eastern Kentucky will shoot.
About the last 3 minutes has been a little bit out of control. Everybody looked a little bit out of sync offensively. And but Indiana, a very good effort, a great individual effort by Damon Bailey. Came out, really took advantage of his size inside to score on the Eastern Kentucky guards. Scored a career high 30, or I guess tied a career high 32 points today, and missed 3 or 4 free throws in the process. So it's been a good day. Damon Bailey played very, very well.
Maggard good on the first. 79 points. A little above what Indiana gives up. They've been averaging 75 points a game by their opponents.
They did shoot 63% from the three-point line in the first half. Indiana's come out in the second half and shut that off.
91-80. Trap in the corner. Now triple team. Larry gets rid of it to Wilkerson, and a foul. That goes on Johnson. And that'll be his 5th as he fouls out of the ball game now. 3rd player for Eastern Kentucky to do so. He's got 13 on the game, and I think he showed these fans what he can do one-on-one when they give him the chance.
I was very impressed with his game. He really does a nice job, and he really doesn't force things. He didn't take a lot of shots today. He took good shots when they were available. Does a nice job of penetrating, and you can see he's definitely their leader. I would look for him to have a really big year in their conference.
Hart misses on that free throw. That's got to be one thing Coach Knight needs to have the team work on, is the free throw shooting. Indiana's getting to the line a lot, but having some trouble. Misses on the second to the final 10 seconds now. This is Bennett. Oh, a block by Hart. Ends up in the first row.
Bennett kind of caught that on the underside of the bank board, and because of it, Steve Hart had time to come over and respond and knock that one into about the 3rd row.
5 seconds now. Maggard will get the last shot. It's off, and that's the end of the ball game as Indiana does move to 5-1, 91-80. The two coaches meet at the center court. We'll be back after these messages.